Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to the Empowered Harmonizers. I am very excited to zoom in and focus in on today's topic, and that is really the importance of perseverance, the importance of persistence, and having the boldness, the courage, the audacity to go no contact or limited contact and really just get in touch with your own willpower. When we talk about a relationship with a covert narcissist, we're talking about someone who does not seem on the outer surface very selfish, very self-centered. In fact, they might be very nondescript. They might be very passive. They might be very withdrawing in nature or very silent. And in fact, this quality might have been one of the endearing qualities that you looked to or fell in love with. In other words, this person, promoted you to just be kind of out there. In other words, they weren't really very controlling in nature, but yet there was a subtle form of manipulation taking place when they just basically laid back and allowed it all happen. Allowing it all to happen meant the love bombing and for you to fall in love with satisfying their needs. You didn't fall in love with taking care of yourself. You didn't fall in love with yourself in a healthy sense. You fell in love with a covert narcissist and satisfying of their needs, but furthermore embedding in the fact that you weren't receiving like in return. In fact, you might have had a very negligible amount of attention, affection, acknowledgement, or validation in the relationship, and in the beginning phase, which oftentimes can go prolonged over a period of time, this becomes enough. Loving them becomes enough. Keeping a focus on them becomes enough because the mind then tricks itself saying, well, if this person is happy, then I'm happy. You develop very quickly an external locus of control because this love bombing gets set up in the neurobiology in a sense of such heightened importance that your very survival becomes inextricably tied or dependent on them. In other words, there was something in that person which made you feel a very deep connection. And maybe it was your need to take care of others, your need to give, to be very giving. Maybe that is an inherent quality of yours. So this became an inextricable part of your daily affirmation for a life. In other words, your role, your self-definition, your identity became embedded in taking care of this person or taking care of others. In other words, it was to the neglect of yourself that your identity was formed. The Mother Teresa syndrome. In other words, if everyone else is happy or if I can be supportive of them, everything else will be taken off of me. And then it's basically other focus. In other words, if I just evaporate myself, take care of others, their happiness will be enough. And then people become addicted to this outer form of acknowledgement, validation, or feeling like this person at least is not blowing up in narcissistic rage. But yet, there comes a time when people they then feel empty, vapid, or that their needs are not being met. They eventually, the reservoir runs out. The inner well runs dry. The emotions hit a screeching halt when one realizes that they are not living their life the way that they want to or are liberated, or their willpower is knocking very hard on them, either because they're not able to focus on their schoolwork, their job, their career. They're truncated at some point. And especially if children have been raised by covert narcissists, oftentimes the life and happiness of that adult becomes more important than becoming autonomous, and then we see developmental arrests taking place. In other words, they're not able to move on in their life. They're not able to have friends. They're not able to get good grades. They're not able to join social clubs. They're not able to follow up on advanced learning, going to college, going to graduate school, becoming a doctor, because they are held back in a developmental arrested stage with taking care of this person, or feeling that they've been so criticized to the core that they don't have the self-esteem to support themselves. In other words, they're severed from their own life purpose. They're severed from their own willpower. And then they become stranded in this helplessness. I don't know what I want, peace and harmony. I receive a number of comments. I don't know, I don't know what I want. What if I don't know what my passion is? I really feel invisible. This is the state of being dehumanized, depersonalized, and experience of low self-esteem. So this is very serious because it becomes crippling in nature. And people don't know how or feel good about like getting to know themselves, walking away, feeling strong on their own. In other words, they enter into the next life stages feeling less than strong. They don't feel that they have the social wherewithal to make friends or to hold a job or to be able to interact with people. They become intimidated. And so they then shrink back because the inner critic, the outer critic is now, instilled in them. They have a very strong programmed sense of smallness, weakness, and then their identity, their story of their life, your life story then becomes, oh, I'll never make it. I had this and this parent. Oh, I'll never make it. Such and such I never got the grades, or such and such told me so. This old story becomes embedded, and then your life, which is many decades long, becomes stuck in these messages which were embedded decades ago, months ago, lifetimes ago. And I had a very interesting question that had asked about, this karmic tie. And we'll get into that on another video. I thought that was a very interesting question. And yes, we will address that. But for the topic and focus of this video, I want you to get in touch with the fact, where have you felt guilty or out of place by following your life purpose or breaking free and being autonomous, being your own person, and getting in touch with this willpower? In other words, ask yourself the right questions. If I didn't feel so guilty, I would really love to. If I didn't feel so small, I could really see myself, or I would really dream of, and then doing or becoming these things. If I didn't have such a low self-esteem, I would really dream of. And if I had more support in my life, or people didn't think I was crazy, I would really love to. If people didn't think I was crazy, I would really love to become. And if other people didn't hold me back so much, I would really love to. ... If I didn't have the negative comments or the sneers from other people, I could really see myself having a relationship or becoming. These are furthermore questions to help you unearth your true self. And I have a lot of these in my book, as well as the astralmations, which then are affirming in the quantum field your new identity, your new state of becoming in the present, where your feelings are then now in the present and have no correlation, are disidentified from the messages and energetic field of the past. In other words, the feelings of the past have no place and cannot enter into the quantum field of the present. They are not connected. It is because oftentimes this lack of attention, lack of validation, was to help serve the covert narcissist, and has nothing to do with you living your own life. It has you and your life purpose becoming entangled or ensnared with this person and not your own. And so it is very important for you to ask these questions of yourself and answer them and allow your heart to answer these. And furthermore, I really, really want you to get into then following up and scheduling these very interesting recovery dates and plugging them into your calendar. There are so many great calendars you can get. The day minders, you can get, fun, calendars that have like artwork. You can have ones that have sayings. This one is really cute. When you love life, life loves you back. A weekly calendar here where you can schedule in all sorts of wonderful things that you are now uncovering on a daily basis. And these should all be filled in at least a month in advance. So you know, at least on a, your week by week basis, you've got some new activities filled in for yourself. And you need to enter into the present. And you can even, I'm working even on a calendar where these affirmations will be right there in the margin. So you'll have these prompting you in front of you all the time as reminders, because people need reminders. You need a little bit of support, and that is what I'm here for. But you need to get yourself your calendars, and you also need to surround yourself with, sorry here that I'm entering, going offline here, but, get yourself some magazines, whether it's National Geographic, Cosmo, Shape magazine, these sort of things that will have images which you aspire to or want to become in your life. For example, you might want to become part of girl power. You might want to be in touch with your divine feminine. So girl power would be something that you would cut out and then put on your refrigerator. And every time you pass by it, it'll remind you and prompt you that you are strong. You need images, not just the written word. When we talk about your priming, you need images. What else? Maybe you like maybe if you're a guy, you like the idea of being a strong player and working up a sweat. Cut a picture of this guy out, put this on your refrigerator. Who cares if you think that's stupid, insane, or dumb? Guess what? It works. You are here to communicate with your subconscious mind. I know it because I have utilized this, and I have gone on to accomplish a number of different things that profit me immensely, fulfilling me personally, professionally, financially by this method. I know what works. I have learned about the quantum field. I have learned about attracting these results to my hemisphere, to my universe. And you have to, they don't teach you this in kindergarten. Your parents don't say, hey, let's get together and make out your vision board. Let's see what you can manifest. Who let you know that imagination brings manifestation? I am letting you know this. And if you feel uncomfortable, amen. You need to get out of your comfort zone in order to succeed and get in touch with your willpower and give yourself a fighting chance. And this is fun. This is fun stuff. This is not boring. This is about you. This is your time. What else? You might like this picture of this girl, and you might like the fact that she's wearing, something, white and pure. And, you might want to cut out a picture of this, something that is priming you to be in shape. What else? You might want to remind yourself that eating fresh fruits is part of your health. So then you would cut out this picture with this mango with the cross on it, letting you know that this is like your lifeblood. This is your, that eating fresh fruits and vegetables is prime to your health. What else? I mean, there's all sorts of things. You might want to get a puppy. You might say, you know what? Peace and harmony, this is the year I want to get a pet, and I want this little puppy to be running to me, yay, you're home, and have a new relationship with a dog. Or maybe you want to start an animal shelter, or you want to volunteer, maybe your I am kind and loving, and then you might want to then volunteer at an animal shelter and make this part of your to-do, your your affirmations. I am surrounding myself with kind and loving people. And then you plug it in. You go and you call these places. You go and you visit these places. And then by the, month 3, you find out you've got a whole new volunteer gig. You're doing this or that. It works. And so it is very important for you to have perseverance, persistence, and momentum to your healing journey, and to become the best you can be. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.